couples, let's talk about love.
We're not experts. We're just taking you on our journey of love.
Hey, babe.
How are you, lover?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I am doing great, as
My
always.
silver fox. Look at this gray
Yeah.
hair.
But the grandbaby was like, she said, your hair is white. I was like, I'm getting old. She said, I'm not old. I said, I'm getting old. The other day, I meant to tell you this. I said, I was at another organization and, I was talking with the crew that I knew, and then there was a new person there that was coming in and getting a tour, a young girl. And she was talking, and she said, I said something, and she said, yeah, Pops, I like her. I said, dang.
You pops now.
I've hit the pops.
Oh,
Pops.
Lord.
I hit the pops category. I was like, this gray is really showing, boy. It said pops. Man, am I pops? I get into unk status? Like, good Lord, it's a problem for me now. I was like, I wasn't ready.
You'll be all right.
I wasn't ready.
You're
I
my
wasn't
silver
ready.
fox.
It's just that understanding of time is crazy right now.
I understand.
So, I was thinking, I was reading this article the other day, and I thought about it. I was like, we should talk about this. And it talked about the 13 ways to keep the spark alive. Now, what really stuck out to me, of course, right?
What's that?
What do you think? Think about the title, 13 Ways Keep the Spark Alive.
You want to keep the spark alive?
No, number 13. It's our lucky number, baby.
You and these numbers.
You know that. It's our lucky number.
13.
We were married on the 13th day of the 13th year. Come on now. We got to make it happen. 13,
Yes,
10, 13, 13.
13, 13.
And the 10 is significant for our birthdays adding together. So, we got to make it work. But 13 ways to keep spark alive. So, number 1, share life, the big things and the small things.
Ooh, I love this. I love this. One of the things that I loved the most that made me so happy about it was when you had got this big job as the executive director and CEO of your current organization.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal. I felt like, oh, look at my man. He in charge. He in charge. That was a big deal for me.
And we went out and celebrated. We celebrate when you got a job, when I got a job. If we've done something really big, celebrate it. Like we that's big on, celebrate. But then also the little things, like just the small things, just like, what? I had no traffic coming home today. Like, this was great. Let's go outside and take a walk, or it's a beautiful day. Let's go enjoy that. Or, those different things. But I think that time to celebrate, all of those little wins, or how many times you woken up and said, I've really slept well last night.
I know, right?
That's something to celebrate, hey.
And the other small things is just being able to say, guess what? I lost like 5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go eat something.
There you go, right? Put it back on. But those are important to really,
I think so,
celebrate some of those are wins, and those are big things, big
because
wins.
We continue to celebrate each other.
But it's all about connecting.
Yep.
Because if it's important to you, then it should be like we won. Like it's a good thing. So yeah, I like that. Yeah. That was a good one. Okay, so the next one.
2, remembering the beginning times, the butterflies, and the excitement.
This goes back into what I've said back a couple of podcasts ago. I talk about, like, I still fantasize about you, and I fantasize about some of the beginning times, and I remember the first night, our first weekend together, hanging out, like all of that. I think that makes a difference. So that's it, and it's also bringing back that relationship, like what we did, and it's good to remember because you know what, we've been together for some time. 13 years is a long time. It's not super long, but it's been a long time. Right. And it's like remembering some of those fun times together and what we did, and be like, oh man, remember we did that? Or, so I think that's important to bring that back up.
Yeah, I think the other part is that, like, how we met makes me excited. Like, yeah. Like on your birthday, and I called you and said, hey, I got a birthday present for you.
And I came I was on my way back from New York, and it was normally a 3.5, 4-hour trip. That took about 2. I was moving to make sure I get that birthday gift.
And I think what brings the butterflies for me is that that excited you, and I was able to, that little thing excited you, and I was able to give you some great excitement that night.
Yes, I still have the gift, the actual
Yes,
gift.
you do. That's
Yes, which is cool. So
awesome.
that's the yeah. So that's great. I love that. That's just keeping that spark. That keeps the spark. Number 3, hold hands.
Now, that was always a problem for me. I was never a PDA person. Like, and I guess because nobody ever really just held my hand. I was like, oh, why are you holding my hand?
And see, I love holding your hand.
Yeah, you know what? I've gotten used to it. I
Uh,
like it now.
it's funny when we've gone places and people look at us and they're like, "Oh, look at that! Oh," they're like, "Yeah, holding hands." I guess they're thinking, "Look, pops and with that young chick holding hands." Like,
Oh,
I
listen
wonder
to
if that's
you.
his daughter.
Oh, stop it.
But I think it's important. I mean, that's physical touch.
Yes,
It's connecting with each other. It's bonding.
exactly.
It's and there's like there's a sense of like we're together.
And we care about each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think the holding hands signifies that I'm safe. I feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
I feel loved. I feel connected. Like, this means a lot to me.
I agree. I agree.
Like, that's important.
I love it. I love it.
And
Holding hands. What's the
number
next one?
4, look your best for your spouse. Now, I'm gonna tell you, I always try to put my best foot forward for my man.
You don't try.
I
You
I I,
succeed.
I get out there, and when I step up, I step out, because I want his eyes to be on me. I am the only person that he sees.
And when I'm with my wife, I always want to be her amazing accessory. That accessory that just stands out that you like. You talk about. You like, girl, that is nice. So that's what I'm when we're together. And if we're not together, I'm still gonna be that good looking person because I want when I leave the house, and she like, ooh, I can't wait till he come back home.
I
When
mean, look
she
at that. That's my man. Oh my God, that's my
there
man.
you go, there you go.
I'm like, he's so
But
fine.
that's important, and you know what? Remember, so we had a neighbor, and we would always laugh because I swear the husband would leave,
Oh
and the
my
husband would come
God.
back, and this woman was still like in a robe and a bonnet
Yes.
all the time,
All the time.
and my wife was like, I cannot be even if I'm working from home. I am not going to be in the same clothes you saw me in this morning because
What does that look like?
yeah, like how do you come home to the same thing?
Oh Lord, you look the same.
Like, did you shower?
Did you shower?
Like you
I was about to say that. Did you even shower today?
So I think that makes a difference. So yeah, we gotta, like you should again, even if we're just going out, like we should look the part. And
I don't even think it's looked apart. I just think, like, we like to look
yeah,
good.
we
And I
damn
think
sure
we
do.
should
That's
look
what it
good
is.
for each other.
I agree.
It's not for no one else. It's
Just
for us.
I agree.
It goes back to that fantasize. I heard you say you fantasize me about my wife.
Yeah, I sure did. I love that white girl. Give little gifts of love. It doesn't mean spending money.
Oh.
So we do that.
Oh my God. I got the perfect gift of love that he does for me.
What's that?
You turn the heat on for me, knowing that I cannot get out of the bed with that's love. Like, to think enough to know, let me turn the heat on because it's cold in here.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot. That makes me feel. Or like when we just went to dinner, and I said, what, we should have ordered some buffalo wings, and he was like, I got it. I was like, you sure? I mean, it was spending money, but the thought was there, and I was like, oh,
I'll
yes.
offer to drive her places.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm just sitting, just
Yes.
waiting, but I'll offer to
Especially
drive because I know she's not gonna like if she's not in that space, then I'm like, let me help you out, and I can sit there and get some work done. Or I've done that.
Gifts of love.
Yeah, I've done it. I've literally brought my computer, extra monitor, and everything, set up my own little mini office in a place just so that I can drive her and drive her back home. So yeah, we do those things. Waking up and getting out of bed even though she's off, making sure I have some breakfast in the morning before going to work, or packing my stuff up. Taking care of it. Just those little things make a difference for sure.
So yeah, I always want to make sure he got. Do you want a sandwich? I try my best. Yes. And
what's next?
Go ahead.
Stand by each other, fight for each other. Yes.
Oh, this is actually a really we're actually going through this right now with a family member.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I know that you're my family and you're gonna always be my family, but this is my husband. And I'm gonna stand beside him and fight for him.
Yes.
And if you don't like it, then that's your problem.
I'm the same way. I'm Team Monica all the way.
Yep, Team Jason. I think
So
it's
I make sure. So
important.
if there's something, I say, hey, are we doing this? And you're like, nope. Okay, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes it's hard because it goes against,
Mm.
who I am sometimes. But at the end of the day, and it's not a moral thing. It's just like, sometimes like, hey, we're going to say hi to them. We should bring them a card at least. You're like, nope, we're not in that place with them. Okay, we're not in that place. That's fine. And it's cool because we got to be team each other. And I'm big on that. So I'm Team Monica, you're Team Jason, and we go with that. And we make sure that that's the thing. I think one of my colleagues, when she came up to you and said, I love you because your husband, all he does is talk about you like all the time.
Wow. Ooh,
It's
okay.
like, so I love you, and I had another person tell me, like, you obviously have a strong person behind you and alongside you that you want to be with because you're not choosing to do anything else but that. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's the case. I was like, I don't want to add any extra. It's going to keep me away from my partner.
And I think the other part is, it's not only when we're angry with each other or we love each other, we're still going to stand beside each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's, I think, no matter where we are and what place, I am Team Jason and he is Team Monica, and then we go back to fighting amongst ourselves in the quiet.
That picture, that old couple on the park bench. And they're sitting apart from each other, but he's holding the umbrella over her while it's raining.
Yes, that's
us. Like that's so I think that's key.
All right, so the next one says, hug and kiss your spouse. Public display can have an impact on your spouse too. So here, I'm just gonna say, PDA has not always been my favorite thing. I'm not that kind of person, but I do know my husband loves it, and I try my best to give him all the PDA that I can.
And look, I'll kiss my wife anywhere.
He will.
I don't care.
He doesn't care.
I'm gonna kiss my wife. Look, I could be on stage winning the Oscar. And I'm
well,
gonna say, babe, come up here.
Do that.
I'm gonna say, come up here. Let's go. Give me a kiss right now.
And I think that's it. Especially if that's what your spouse needs or your significant other needs, I want to make sure that I honor that.
Yep. So I think that is on point. It's perfect. But we definitely hug and kiss your spouse. Just give it a hug, and sometimes a hug can save everything.
Oh my goodness! I remember a couple of weeks ago, I was just feeling icky, and I just needed a hug. I think I broke down in tears, and that hug really and truly made me feel 90% better. It didn't take away what I was thinking and feeling, but the hug was like, I just love that I can go and say, I just need a hug. No questions asked, gives me a hug. And he says, I just can I get a hug? And I'm like, all right, let me give you a hug.
Sometimes you just need that hug or a simple little kiss. Yeah. What you want from your person. Yeah. Next up, regular date nights, having date nights. So I know we talked about not having any more date nights. But like we said, date nights can't be mundane. They can't be routine. They got to be connected. So in this, I'm going to add in there, make sure that the date nights have some meaning. There's some connection. There's some thought behind them. They're not just a regular thing, so bring up something that's going to change. Like I think about it every time we go into one of the restaurants we went to when we first started dating. I always mention this is a first date restaurant, so, right. And it brings back a little smile every time because you remember, so having date nights and you think about like, is it something that we want to try? Is it something that's different? Is it something that's out of the ordinary? So all those different pieces makes a difference when you're looking at it, or if it's just something I know this person is interested in, and sometimes we go on date nights and we're just trying out something because we both thought about it. Yeah, and then we may not like it, but then we talk about why we didn't like it and we laugh about it and we joke about it. I think each person could put their own spin on what is date night. I agree. I think to put that in, just summarize it. Whatever date night means to you, maybe sitting on the couch, falling asleep with each other. We did that. Yep. We were supposed to be watching a movie. We end up falling asleep in each other's arms. Cuddle up. Yeah. I think that's a good date night. Or it could be just watching the movie. We're getting the popcorn out and we were just watching the movie and just enjoying it. Getting the popcorn machine. We need to do that.
We do
Get
need to
that
do
popcorn
that.
machine popping.
I know. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Spend time doing your spouse
Hobby.
hobby.
Yes, that's important.
Let me tell you, my husband is like the best at this. Like I know some of the things that I do, he do not want to, but he does it. Say, like I'm not a sports person. I'm gonna put that out there. I keep saying I am not a sports person, but I will sit there and watch the Super Bowl with you if I have
She
to.
sure does.
And I'll maybe watch a game with you. I might ask a lot of questions. I'm learning though, because I knew what a quarterback was and a
Uh-huh.
cornerback.
Uh-huh.
I was like, ooh, I know what that is.
Yep. So she started learning. We've gone to some games, some live
Yes,
games together, which you like better.
I
Because
do.
I think it's just the environment that we're in now. Now, granted, we've also been spoiled with a lot of them because we've gotten boxes,
And I think it also
which
is a
is different.
person.
Yeah.
Like I was invited to a lot of sporting events and I was like, oh God, I don't want to be here. And I think it was just the person that I was with. But
Mm-hmm.
I think when we're together, like even when I got tickets for the Orioles,
Oh
did I
yeah,
really want to be there? Not really. But
we had a good time.
we did.
We
We
had
had a
fun.
good
We
time.
laughed. We joked. We talked about stuff.
We did.
You can people watch.
People talk about.
Exactly, and you can explain some things that's going on. So I think that's the key. You know what? That is it. It's the person.
Yes, I agree.
Because if you are, and again, it goes back to the connection. Because if we're connected, then I understand that this is not your favorite thing. So I have to, in turn, make it as
Enjoyable as
enjoyable as
possible.
possible for you. So as opposed to just like, hey, we're going to something that I'm doing, and you just got to get in line with it. So like if I'm incorporating something that I want to do, then I want you to be a part of it.
I love that. I love that you bring me in and make me a piece of that, what we're doing.
Now I'm gonna see if I can get her to be a piece of my hobby of cutting the grass.
Nope. Next. What was the next one? Okay. Go ahead, babe. Oh my
Send
God.
text during the day. We always do this. Now, I say we always do this now.
You're right.
Because this was not always a part of it, and again, with that connection and understanding and communication, understanding where the importance. So I'm realizing that this was extremely important to my wife. Because we'd have, long full days, especially back in the day, where my days were,
Oh my God.
could be 8, 9, 10, 11 hour,
12,
12-hour
yeah.
days. And that was hard. So you're not seeing this person. And me, I'm like, I'm busy, but then taking that time out to just send a quick message, just check on you, make sure you're good. Because sometimes we had those times where you're like, I'm not good, and then I'm okay. Now I got to stop what I'm doing and call you because you need this. But I wouldn't have known that had I not reached out, and now it becomes just a part of it, and we miss it. And I even told you there's times like if I'm in the middle of running, and you've sent me a text, I love it because then it allows me the opportunity to pause and stop and take a breath and say, which I may need. So it's like you were reading my mind and just knew my husband needs me to reach out to him right now. I'm going to do this.
And I like the fact that at once, sometimes he'll send me little naughty texts and I like smile from ear to ear, or I'll say, guess what I got on today?
I like that.
And I like the fact that I now check in.
Yes.
Like, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? I know you. And my first thing is, I know you must be extremely busy. Haven't heard from you, and so that gives that grace.
Yep.
And I better understand that now.
And I think it's important that we are able to, and it's, like I said, it's that check in with that person, and it goes back to again communicating.
Yeah.
What's going on, how are you doing, and we even got to the point where sometimes we'll check in by video. We'll check in via text. It may be a phone call, but all those make a difference. I know I smile when I see it come across my page or my screen or whatever. So that makes a difference for me for sure.
Yeah. Next one, encourage your spouse. Oh, we do this like it's natural. It's just natural.
Yeah.
Now I remember, I'm going to say this. My husband impressed me so much that he went after this position, and I was like, wow, they're asking for this, and you don't have it. And he went after it and he got it. And I was like, yo. So anytime he said he's gonna do, I'm like, go for it. You got this. I know you're gonna do well. He has no idea, and maybe he does, how proud I am of him.
Aw.
Like he is doing his thing.
Thank you, babe.
Like I'd be proud to say, yeah, my husband is executive director and CEO. Yes, that's my husband right there.
I love it. I love
You
it.
know, and so I try my best to encourage him to do. Now it wasn't always like that because then I felt like I was being left out. You know, but I think if he's encouraged, then we're encouraged together.
And I'm my wife's biggest cheerleader.
He is.
No matter what she's doing, I am pushing it out there. When she ran for the trustee for our neighborhood association, I was putting it out there. I was her campaign manager.
He was.
Like, campaign manager for other positions she's running for. Like I'm gonna put it out there. I was like, hey, somebody's gonna see this that knows somebody, so they're gonna put it out there, and it just shows I am my wife's biggest cheerleader. And it's interesting because I've seen people like some of those posts that have no connection to it, but I know what they're liking. They're liking the fact that we're each other's biggest cheerleader, that we're going to promote what the other person's doing, and I think that's big. Like, we do it for our kids. Yes. Why wouldn't we do it for our spouses too? Like, I think about how many things I post for my daughter when she's doing things, but you know what? For my wife, always going to post the same thing. If she posts something that was important to her, then I'm going to reshare it because this is a big deal, and we got to be each other's biggest cheerleaders. We are each other's biggest cheerleaders always, and that's important. So we promote each other to others, to ourselves. We talk about it. We tell each other how proud we are of each other.
Now, just that's keep in mind that's number 13 too. Each other's cheerleader.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yes, but I also want to say that to encourage means a lot. Why? Because I was thinking, you know what, I want to open this business. But and I'm no. There, like, and what you Jay was like, no. I mean, he encouraged, you can do this. Let me tell you why. These are the reasons why you should do this. Yep. I got you. I'm gonna support it. I'm gonna put it out there.
Applying for your last position.
Yeah.
Even when you were worried, you were like, oh, I'm not sure how that interview went. I was like, nope. I just happened to be at home working from home that day, and I was like, I heard it. You did great. You were this. You did that. And even if you did falter on something, I was like, you faltered here, but then look where you picked it up here. Like, that was a great answer. I took notes on that answer, and I'm gonna use that next time I interview something. But like, I think so. That's important that we encourage others to do stuff. You say, you know what,
I'm gonna person of ourselves.
I'm thinking of doing this. And I'm like, what do you need? What do you need from me to help make it happen? And if you say nothing, that's fine. But if you need something from me, let me know, and I'm here. Like, I'm here for you, or I may just offer it up. How can I invest in you? And investing doesn't necessarily have to be money.
Yeah.
It could be my time, could be my energy,
allowing that person to do what they got to do by saying, okay,
take on another task because I know it'll make it easier for you.
Yeah.
So that encouragement, I think, is that has to be key in your relationship, and you have to constantly keep that going. If you're not encouraging your spouse, then who else is? Because sometimes you, like you said, you may sell yourself short. So I'm here. I think there's a meme online with a college basketball player. He must have done something wrong, and the other one comes by and picks up his chin, and he's walking. Like, that's that sense of like, that's what you're supposed to do. I'm gonna always pick up my wife's chin and be like, no. Look, you hold your head high, and we keep pushing forward, and I'm right there with you, baby.
Yeah, I love to just say you're doing so. I say, oh my God, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so well. I really am. I mean, it's just amazing to see where you've come and where you are now. Like this bigger, even better person.
It's also funny. I can look at encouragement. I think my wife has a way to encourage me sometimes to do things. Where like if she'll say, you know what, I'll just hire somebody to go do it. And she knows that's my weak spot.
And I'm like, spend money.
So I'm like, no, I'm gonna go do it. And I get out there and do it. And she sits back and just said, ha ha ha. I convinced him. I wanted him to do it this weekend. Got it done, baby. Which is fine because you know what? I needed to do it, and she encouraged me to do it, and I got it done. So I love it.
Number 12.
Nurture each other's faith.
Oh, I think we've touched on this.
I think we do. I mean, like at the end of the day, we not gonna be different, you know.
No.
And if we did have differences, like if we were brought up differently,
Mm-hmm.
I think we would. I feel that we would be both going to each other's places of worship, or you know, like, or being a part of whatever whatever you're doing, whatever process you're going through, or anything. Like, I think we'd be a part of that, and we support it.
But you know what? Remember, it wasn't always like that, because I remember when I was going to church, I was afraid to let you know. So every Sunday, I would find some way to kind of avoid you.
Yep.
I don't know if it was like, oh no, I'm busy. Oh no, because I had been a part of this church for maybe about a year and a half, 2 years, and I really wanted to give my life back to Christ. So I got baptized. I made it my business to be a part of it, to be prayed on, to be loved on, and I didn't know how Jason would take it. I was like, oh my God, is he gonna think I'm some kind of a church nut or something like that? And I think what happened, you I don't know. How did you find out? Did I ask you, or you?
I think you finally just said I'm going to church, and I was like, "Oh, I'll go with you."
I know. I was
like a matter of fact, like, you were like, "Yeah, yeah,
you're gonna go with me?"
Of course, come on. What time?
And that was amazing, because and the love that my church members, like, they loved us. We were actually the last couple to get married in the church in our church before they tore it down. And they gave us special permission to do that, because it was supposed to be torn down in September. We weren't getting married till October. And they took it to the church board. They loved us so much. It was like, absolutely. So the last event that was held in that church was our wedding.
Sure was.
It was amazing. And to be able to go through this journey together was really great. I felt much better. I felt more comfortable.
Yep.
To know that we were on that same wavelength of faith.
We still are.
We still are, yes. And the last one.
Be your spouse's biggest cheerleader. Life is hard. Be the hands and feet of Jesus to your spouse. So it's like you got to really, think about, like, how are you uplifting your spouse? How are you keeping them up? How are you supporting them? How are you putting them out there?
You can do this.
And then just like that constant encouragement. Like, we need that in life. We need that person to
root us on, cheerleader,
because, like, you got this. I know it's hard.
Yes.
I know what you're going through is hard, but I also know you are a strong woman, and you're going to be able to take care of this.
Yeah, and you are strong. Like, my husband has always been a strong man. The jobs that he said, the leadership roles that he's taken on, he has encouraged me. Makes me want to continue to cheer him on, because I know he's there to do bigger and better things. And I think once we feel good about our spouse and how well they're going to do and how well we're going to do, the cheering part becomes super easy.
Exactly.
It's like no big deal at all. But we wanted to just kind of share that article with you guys. We thought it was a great little segue into our intimacy series.
Yep. And I think our next week we're going to be talking about our love language.
Ooh.
How our love language became our greatest ally.
Ooh.
So, as you think about it, like, what is your love language?
Yes. What is your love?
What is your love
I know
language?
what my love language is. Yeah. I know what yours is too.
Yes, we're gonna get into that next time we get together.
Yes. So we want to say thank you for listening. As always, if you like us, hit us up on Facebook. Shout out on Instagram.
Follow us on Spotify, podcasts, all the podcast platforms that are out there. Follow us and take a like.
Yes, and know that I love you.
I love you.
You're my rock.
You're my peace.
And together we are her rock, his peace. All right, guys, we talk to you later.
Take care. Peace out.